Okay, I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, it's something, you say that so many times, and then you forget to how to start it at times. I mean, it's I tell you, need to have that great team effort. Okay, minutes of April 19th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of April 19th?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. We have a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. And here comes the checks as we speak. Thank you, Diana. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so we're gonna pass. Lou, you're up with town administrator's report.
The only thing I have, Your Honor, is Music Farm LLC. The public works agreement and involves public improvements, essentially 6-inch line, I think it's a 6-inch line. 6-inch ductile iron line across Route 268 North Street. Tying into the building, they need that water for the sprinkler system, I believe. So that's going to be, probably have to close off North Street a short time while they're doing the major construction, but the improvements are simply a connection to that line across the street, next to 110 North Street, and then extending across the street to tie into the service line for that building. So I would recommend that the board approve a public works agreement with Music Farm LLC for that service line.
We have a motion to approve the public works agreement with Music Farm LLC for the Elkton Music Hall at the 107 North Street, formerly known as Town Hall, formerly known as the County Town Hall.
So moved.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And listen, I thank you. Thank you for your investment in the town of Elkton, and I have to tell you, I'm really excited with the what I've seen at your venue and the list of artists that you have coming to Elkton. I mean, who would have ever thought it? And hopefully your ticket sales are doing well, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting, especially when we got Peter Townsend coming. That was the rumor. Paul McCartney's coming. Paul McCartney's coming. Coming to Elkton. You gotta love this. You gotta love it.
Pete Townsend really coming? No.
You gotta love it. Okay, a couple of things on my agenda. We received 2 quotations for a fence adjacent to the neighborhood community center. Lou, do you want us to make a recommendation here for you, or you?
We need to bid that out because they're both over $10,000.
Okay.
Procurement policy.
So-
So I'll do specifications and send it to a number of fences.
Okay, very good. So for you folks to know, we did preliminarily, we got the 2 quotations, and this board is willing to move forward with it as soon as we get the quotes back. So we'll have a new fence along the backside. Perfect. It's nice to get applause once in a while, especially at budget time. Everyone's looking at you like, Mayor, are you going to give us raises? So the board attended Apple Auto's ribbon cutting for their grand reopening. So Apple Auto Mitsubishi is going on today. They made us aware that they acquired the additional 6 acres that's around the other side of the Happy 40. They surround Happy 40, and they're going to bring in additional car dealerships. I can't disclose who. It wasn't Peter Townsend again, but But I can say that I think the community will be very happy with the 2 new car dealerships that will be coming into the community. Very excited about that. On Monday, next Monday, May 15th, I'll have the agenda for the town board and staff for the economic summit that I want to have here. I've got a list of tentative speakers, and the whole purpose of the Economic Development Summit was to make us all aware of what the impact of the sports complex could mean to our community from a direct and indirect dollars. And where I needed help with is the indirect side. We all understand what direct money means, your town taxes, your property taxes, hotel, motel taxes, business personal taxes. But what we're not aware of is what the indirect dollars mean. What does it mean when you have 250,000 more people coming to your community through the course of the year? What does that mean? And Cecil County government is going to make that presentation for us, so it'll be someone from outside of us trying to do that. So I'm pretty excited about that. But Michelle, you and I will get together, and it's going to be from 9 to noon, and then from after that, I want to provide lunch for our guests. I would say that we'll probably be done at 11:30, so we'll just make sure we have kind of it there at that time. Nothing crazy, but I'm pretty excited about it. I hope that all the board members can make it. I hope that our staff can make it. I hope that our department heads can all make it, because I think it's very, very important to understand what this impact could be to our community, and hearing it from other people than the ones that are trying to build it. I think it's very, very important from that side. With that, we have a couple other things. So our staff is led by Commissioner Massiano and Commissioner Brummel, have been working on the second round of our ARPA funding, and they made some recommendations to the board after I know they've done a lot of work, because I've got 3 files here. It seems like there's 3 entities that will get our last funding for the second staunch of the ARPA funding, and it won't be dispersed for a couple weeks. But the first one that I'd like to ask the town support on is for CASA. CASA put a request in. We did our due diligence on it, and it's recommended that we give an ARPA grant to CASA for $44,652. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Gene, you or Rob want to add anything to that, or?
No, they met everything. I do want to say in general that Michelle probably did 99% of the work. And I want to thank you for that, because I know
thank you for that as well.
if and when we get audited, you have done everything that had to be done to make that happen, to pass, so thank you.
But Commissioner Brummel and I did, like Rob also, Mayor also said, we did our diligence, we studied the applications thoroughly, and we're doing our job in protecting our taxpayers' money and taking care of the entities as well as we can.
Very good. So we had a motion and a second for the grant for CASA. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Our second request, once again, same process, and it was for the Elkton VFW. They met all the requirements, and we'd like to offer a grant of $24,560. Do we have a motion for that?
Also moved.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And, maybe there's, no. Okay, and the last one was Singerly Fire Company, the William M. Singerly Fire Company. as we all know, how important our emergency management services, our fire services and so forth are to this community. We couldn't, very, very important for life safety for our residents, and it goes a long way. So our team did their due diligence, and I think it was $650. Oh, I'm sorry. We have an amount of $654,490. Do we have a motion to approve that? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the amount going to the Singerly Fire Company? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Fantastic.
Thank
You want these to give them a check?
you. Well,
All right, I have nothing else to report. Commissioner Mastriana?
In addition to the Apple Auto ribbon cutting that we all just attended, we also attended the ribbon cutting for Frederick Ward last week. That was the building owned by Ed Kiamaw and Edwards Fashions for over 50 years, and he was, just what's the word I'm looking for? He was mainstay of Main Street, yeah, for over, I met Ed when I was 17 years old. He was in attendance at that ribbon cutting, and he was very pleased with what Frederick Ward did with the building, as we all are. They did a fantastic job, and we welcome them to Elkton.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to bring up that I attended the Rotary Club meeting on Monday night, and they approached me and asked me to approach the board and the town about possibly hanging banners on the street poles down on Main Street to commemorate their 100th year anniversary. A design will be forthcoming within a week or two here. But as I said, they have asked me to approach the board, and so I have. I guess that's future discussion, pending the design and whether or not we want to do it.
I think it would be great if they showed us the design, and I think that probably the toughest decision we have to make is when we make a decision to allow one entity to use our poles. Then of course every entity that is I would say a nonprofit entity could use our street poles, right?
exactly.
And good, bad, or indifferent, I'm just making the board aware of that as we move forward with that, right? But I think it's great to see their design of what they're thinking.
That's all for me.
All right, Commissioner Pino?
I usually have an update for the recreation center, but don't have one today, other than we know that the fence is gonna be out for bid. But we're really driving in a lot of activity over at the center, so everything's moving and going in the right direction. There was a couple of concerns around the town, and I think I've mentioned a couple of times, the young little foxes that are running around. It's 3, 4 of them, maybe it's a whole family, but we gotta try to identify where the den is or whatever, and get that under control.
Where are they? You know?
North Street.
North Street.
Clinton Street, Middleburn,
I
High
actually,
Street.
I just saw one of them run past my house in Elkton Heights.
Yeah, they do.
And I saw one in Delaware Avenue, so we've run right beside the public work building. So we just gotta, if anybody knows where they're migrating, we need to make it aware. That's it.
I actually believe it's behind my house, is where they're at.
Yes, I'm reading.
I don't feed them, and, but I will tell you, the one will lay in my side yard. I have photos of the ones in the rear of the yard, and as crazy as it sounds, they lay with the geese. You would think that they would be attacking those geese, but they don't attack the geese. They kind of like lay there with them. It's the craziest thing.
Maybe you already ate one.
Well, it's very possible, but I would tell you that there's they're pretty healthy looking foxes, I can tell you that, but I'm not really sure what we could, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's, I was always told that, I can address you after the meeting.
I was talking about the box.
Okay, you can, and I would say that they look healthy, but you just never know. You know, they're out in the daytime all the time,
Yeah, which is not normal.
which isn't normal. That's correct. But I'll give you a chance to talk here in a minute. Anything else, Earl?
That's it.
Commissioner Gibbons?
On yesterday, Lois, I sent you, the mayor, and Dan, just as a brief synopsis, a picture and email discussing the trash pickup over to Friendship Heights. Obviously, they didn't get the trash picked up. Hopefully, it has been done today. But there needs to be some consistency from the trash people as well. People in those areas want to know what is going to be the legitimate day when you put your trash out on Monday evening, doesn't get picked up on Tuesday. So have either of you ventured to look into that? Dan, if you're online, Lois is sitting there.
I don't know, Dan's not here, so.
Oh, it's not online.
He is online,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
asking him
sorry.
to
That's
unmute.
right
There he
there.
is.
Here I am.
Hey, Dan,
Yes.
Dan's the man.
Dan, the question is,
He didn't hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Oh, you
yes,
heard me,
Commissioner.
so you can answer that. And then Mayor must have a question for you.
Sure. Basically, yeah, when the trash, you know, it's a fluid situation. When they miss things out, we tell them what they're missing, they figure out the resources. Today they realized it was overwhelming for them on Tuesday, went back and did everything first thing this morning. So we did relay the information from them, so that's more of a waste management, kind of deal with waste management situation on this one, but we do share the information.
Yeah, but do you understand the point that I'm bringing to you? We've discussed that, and they were supposed to make some improvement, and they said that before us, and we haven't seen it. And the same guy, I forget who he was that came down here, maybe he needs to come back and tell us something, because I'm quite sure we want to tell him something. You remember the guy that was coming there smiling and this, that, and the other?
Oh, yes.
Paul B,
Yeah,
that's
what I
his name.
typically do, Commissioner, is I'll take the meeting, which we're talking about now, and I'll send it to the corporate office in Houston saying, here's what you're doing. So everything you bring back there, I've actually brought up to the corporate office. So that's what I'm doing on that end as well. So I know corporate's probably leading on them. Waste management, honestly, they had an idea that's probably not working. They have to figure out themselves. They're realizing now the Tuesday route is overpowering. That's something they realized finally, and they're trying to make adjustments accordingly. That's what's going on with waste management. Not
But
the
there's
thing,
been
but just
other,
kind of what they've
there's
done.
been other things other than what you've been saying,
They
that
have
missed
to figure it
trash,
out.
whatever you're holding.
well, listen, we're going to talk to our attorney in a closed session, and that's one of the things that we want to address, because we just may not, we're not getting the service for what we're paying for, and Dan, that's not you, but we need to figure out what the heck's going on here. It's the worst that it's ever been, and I've lived here since 1982, and it's the worst that I've ever seen trash collection in the town of Elkton. It's terrible. And I know that we're putting it out on bid, and I know that that's probably part of the reason also, but it's, we've got to come up with something that it's just eating us up. You guys may not hear it. Well, you do hear it from
Oh,
residents.
we hear it. Well, we hear it.
You're hearing it, but we hear it. We hear it every day too, and we're the ones that, even though we're all ground level soldiers here, we're out in the public every day, and they know who we are, and they just eat the heck out of us here.
Can I ask Dan a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Jean.
Dan, when's the last time you would have met with Paul Bean?
You mean, basically, I mean, we're constantly talking to the waste management team. Paul's in charge of sales, in charge of operations. Leo Blackwell does that. We have a whole team that actually goes through the things itself. So we're constantly talking with them, especially during the week. So we're constantly updating misses and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
we talk a lot, like at least 4 or 5 times a week, like on a daily basis.
So they know about the problem, they're
Oh, they
trying,
know that, yes, Commissioner, they know, yes, believe me.
but then,
And, you know, I've actually gone above the levels at the same time, but yes, that is correct, they are aware.
oh, I know they're aware.
It's more of an internal thing, that's what I think is going on, they won't admit it, but I think internally they probably have issues. I mean, that's probably no secret on that.
Okay, so basically, if they meet with you, they talk to you, they listen to you, they're aware of the problem, but they've not offered a solution.
Yeah, they actually go out, that's why they made an extra pickup today to see what's going on with it, because the field people, they're trying to make adjustments, they realize that the routes are kind of overwhelming at times,
Okay.
so they're in the process of figuring that out. They should have figured it back in November, but that's another story. That is
So
correct.
we're sending Waste Management out to pick up the trash now instead of our own people?
Oh, we've got over almost 4,600 residents, we couldn't do it if we, no, we're nowhere near that. Waste Management probably takes about they take 2 trucks, probably empty at least twice a day, so it's like 4 truckloads, and recycling's a truckload on top of that, so just the quantity. So, I mean, just to put it in perspective, every resident each year probably puts out, seems like a ton of trash per year, so that gives you an idea what goes on a weekly basis, so it's an
Okay,
awful lot,
but-
that's the reason why. If it was 1 or 2, it'd be different, but this is just, it's huge.
Okay, but my question, I don't think you answered it, was when the trash is missed, who is picking it up? Them or us or both?
Both, case by case. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But if it's individual, we'll grab it, if it's one house, we understand that one. It's a whole neighborhood, it's on them, because it's overwhelming. We'll
Oh,
do
okay,
both.
that's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Hey, Dan, can you reinforce to your team for me? If they see something as they're driving throughout the town, don't just leave it. You know, make a change, pick it up. If they see some trash on town streets, pick it up. I'll share with you, there's like a bag of trash directly across from the water plant as I'm speaking now that's been there for about 2 days, and I've seen multiple public works trucks go right by it. And it's literally where the old skateboard park is. I mean, that's our building. And I have to tell you, I give Commissioner Piner a lot of credit. I saw him, he didn't know I saw him, but he pulled off on the side of the road and removed a tree branch that was in the ground that, thank you, Earl, I want to tell you, thank you for doing that. He pulled over right there at the 7-Eleven and took that thing out of the road the other day. But I think that that's the expectations I know that our public has of us, and we just need to all of us get on top of our game a little bit better. And we just got to all be better. And doesn't mean we have to work any harder, we just got to be better. All right. Charles, you have anything else to say?
No, oh, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago at Wright's AME Church, we started having programming for the Juneteenth celebration. A lot of you have been there before. This year on the 19th of June, it's going to be held at the rec center because the church feels as though that you need more space, and the space we had at Wright's was convenient, but the idea of moving it over there as well is trying to make the Juneteenth not what you call an African American or a black celebration. They're moving it because now it is their intent to get the whole community involved. We have a church administrator, her name is Shirley Simmons. Right now she has about maybe 25, is that my phone?
Yeah.
Stop it up. Anyhow, she has about 25 entities in the community that's going to be coming on the 19th. It's going to be from 10 o'clock to 2. The library, the mobile vehicle is going to be coming there. The health department is going to be coming. You just have a lot of entities that's going to be coming around to be a part of that. She's going to have vendors, and basically, she does have the town down as a sponsor as well, because we have actually been good to this event. We have employed them with some finances to help as it goes along. She'll be sending out a formal invitation probably to us, which you probably don't need because I'm here. But again, she did ask me to tell the mayor that she would like him to speak at the very outset, which doesn't take long. Of course, the county executive, they've always have been there. We've always provided a proclamation, which Michelle is always on top of. So these are the things going to be going on. Yesterday, she talked with Margie Blystone about 3 o'clock, and they provided a lot of information about the social media. And I tell you, if you sit up there and listen to Margie, she's very sharp with the Alliance. She really provided with outstanding information, which I thought she should be letting us hear how they operate down there. So this is coming forth again on June 19th, and that's about it. And the last thing is that Reverend Brown, who's been the pastor of Wright Church for the 10 years, has been reassigned. It's unfortunate because he's really getting into the community. He started the GEMA, the Greater Churches Administration across wherever, but you know, that too has come to pass. So this is information I present to you this time.
Do you know when your pastor will be out, or is it?
No, they don't know.
They don't know.
No, I don't know.
Gene?
Nothing.
All right, this is the time we open up the floor for anyone in the public that would like to say anything, and when you do, just raise your hand, say your name and address, and I'll address you. Yes, sir.
Should I come?
Yeah, you can come right on up. Say your name and your address, please.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, everybody. My name is Salvatore Adams, and at the present time, and for the last 9 years, I've lived on at 402 North Street, Elkton. Okay? I love this community. I like being a part of it, and I'm proud of it. Okay? And what bothers me, one of the things that bothers me, which I want to address today, is landlords that own properties in our town that don't care about our town. We keep our house nice, we keep our house clean, our outside proper, and we're surrounded by, can I say his name? Roland Boldazar. Okay? You all know his name. You all know him. He's terrible. He treats people terribly. He treats his property like it's trash. He's got mattresses. That bag, that white bag of trash that this gentleman picked up bothered you, right? We got mattresses laying outside, big trash cans. They throw out stuff that the trash people will not take because they're construction material. Rightfully so, it's called to get it taken away. This man, I'm talking about right now, 408 North Street, okay, that property.
Okay.
He's got, I don't know, 5 apartments in there, 5?
Three. Do you want me to come up and back you up, Sam?
Hey, please.
We're going to have something to say about Mr. Baltazar.
Okay. So anyway, not only that, but I live at 402 North Street, and for the last 9 years, I've been a resident of Elkton for 20 years now. I love the community. But for the last 9 years, I've been living at 402 North Street, which 400 North Street is another up and down, or the daughter house, used to be the general store back then, that way. Roland also owns that property.
Okay.
He keeps the place a mess. And what his mess is, I have to pick up there.
Understand.
The gentleman, I can't even call him gentleman. He doesn't answer my calls because he knows when I call him, I have a gripe with him. So I need to know where to go to get this guy mandated to clean up after himself. Now, we had a gentleman move out, which we finally got good neighbors, because everybody he rents to sells drugs.
Not
Okay?
everybody.
Not everybody, it's true.
Big majority.
Okay, so we had to fight that. I had to go to court a number of times to stop, get these people out of here, go somewhere else. We don't want this. Now, the property, the stairs that go up to the second floor of his on 400 North Street is 10 feet away from my bedroom window, which I hear them all throughout the night. Okay, we got rid of that, people. Finally, going through court, we got a nice gentleman living up there now. He's quiet, he's cool. And we had a guy downstairs that got thrown out because he didn't want to pay more than $1,100 a month. What?
For that apartment?
Yeah. So he found out through Section 8, he can get $1,200 a month, or $1,250. So he evicted our guy that we like, no drugs, nothing. He evicted him so he could get another $150 a month. These people moved in 2 days after the people moved out. He didn't clean anything, he didn't paint anything, he just had other four souls move in and take what they could get. Okay? I would like people to come in and condemn the place, or find him or make him clean before he brings in other people, because if these people move in to a place that is crappy and shoddy, they're not gonna have any investment, they're not gonna wanna make it better, they're just gonna live it,
They can't afford to make it.
and they can't afford it.
Well, listen, first and foremost, thank you for bringing it here. I'm sure that we're absolutely aware of those units, and I can tell you I don't have our building inspector here or code enforcer, but I promise you there's probably stacks of letters that we've probably sent over to them in our defense. But one thing that we've been working on now and we need to get it back onto the back burner, and I'm gonna pitch this to my town board, is the town of Elkton, we don't have a rental ordinance. So over the years, it sounds kind of crazy, but over the years, the town of Elkton, where I'm going to say 25 years ago, we were probably, I'll pitch these numbers, maybe 25% rental, and today we're probably well over 50% or 60% rental, and we need to do something about it, because it's not the good landlords that we have to worry about, it's the bad ones. And there is a handful of bad ones that just won't take, and
Don't care.
we have a meeting here about once a quarter with the landlords, and this room will be filled. We meet, and you're certainly, we'll figure out how we can maybe get some, you're right down the street, so maybe you can come in and talk to them, but these folks are the good landlords. I mean, they come to the meetings, they schedule trash pickup days for their communities that they have the most of the rentals in, and it works wonderfully. But it's the ones, like Mr. Balthazar, he hasn't been to a meeting,
No.
right? Anyone.
Yeah. I just wanted to add something to what Sal was saying. So
And give us your name and address again, please.
my name is Barbara Weiser. Is this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is one. Okay, my name is Barbara Weiser, and I live at 410 North Street. And just this past stormy weather, this is just an example. This past stormy weather, it blew down a tree in Mr. Balthazar's property, which landed on the car of 406 North Street.
Okay.
He has made no effort to clear that away. I'm 74 years old, I cleared it away. And only because that's my daughter's house, and her car that it fell on. And I was out there with my big loppers and my little cutters and everything. I cleared that crap away, because he would never do it. There's still the other half of the tree, there was 2 pieces. The other half is still standing, but this gentleman that I know, who also lives in that building, he works for Elkton Florist, I believe, and they know something about plants and trees, and they told me this tree is rotten, so the other half is going to fall down as well. Mr. Balthazar is made aware of this. My daughter's husband called Mr. Balthazar, he doesn't answer the phone. The rentals in there as well, it's a revolving door. It's a revolving door of 90% of the people who live in there don't have a source of income. A lot of them have switched over to Section 8, and then he raised all the prices. He takes a security deposit, and if they're a week late on their rent, he throws them out and keeps their security deposit.
Yep.
So many people
You know,
have
normally
complained about that.
Normally with the Section 8 or the county Section 8 who handles that, normally they have to come in and do an inspection twice a
Yeah.
year, and before that other group could have went in, they should have been up to code, so.
I don't think
Well,
he lets them know.
That's not happening.
He doesn't do that.
Well, we'll get with that. Listen, I can appreciate your concerns, and our problem, it falls on us because we need to be able to go into rental properties at least once or twice a year And if we were able to do that with our inspector, then I think it would go a long way with making sure that the landlords.
I have personally gone over to the health department and made a complaint, because at one point, the people that were living in there, they had bed bugs. And so they reported it to the health department. The health department came in and put non-habitable signs on everything. So the entire house was empty. Cockroaches ran all over the neighborhood. They ended up in my house. I don't live with cockroaches. And I had to pay out of my pocket to have an exterminator. And I was very furious at Mr. Baltazar that day. And I told him, you know, I had to pay for the cockroaches. I have all my rental properties sprayed every month. Follow me.
Okay, well, thank you. Listen, we hear you loud and clear, and I promise you that we'll talk with our code enforcer and our building inspector and see what we can do.
And thank you for considering the fence.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I'm
Michelle?
sorry to interrupt, I just called while you were speaking. I'm going to take you back to the building department, they're waiting for you. And
Okay.
then I also asked Dan if he can assist with the tree, he said yes, so we're going to get some contact info so they can follow up. So you want to come back with me?
What did Dan do with the trees?
We're going to find out.
Okay.
Okay, go up.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
I just want to say, thank you again. I worked for Dwight Hare at Property Management for quite some time.
Oh, okay.
Okay? He knows how to.
He knows how to take care of the place.
And he had me do it. Rolling rolls up. Take lessons from him.
You know what the man
Dwayne has made Elkton
what the man
better one house at a time.
I'd say I did.
All right, now we know.
Very fast.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That's okay, and I really like
Anyone else in the audience have anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton? It, oh yeah, we better bring that up. Is there anyone on the Zoom meeting that has anything to say? Lou, I sent an email out to, for the board to discuss the parking on Main Street. And I think you sent me an email, but I'm not sure what your response was. I think it was, did we table all of the, let me see if I can pull it up here.
No, the board took all the meters out on North Street. And,
Yes.
Then we had to rely on the police department for 2-hour enforcement, but there's no enforcement officer now. We don't have anyone.
Could we come up with a suggestion
Hire
maybe?
somebody, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could absolutely revisit that and see if it's an issue out there that we could maybe hire another part-time person to do parking enforcement.
Yeah, if it's, you know, we're getting complaints from one business. I don't hear any complaints from anyone else about the parking. But maybe we could visit that a little bit. You okay with that? All right. All right, we are gonna have a closed meeting to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter. Do we have a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
And we will not reconvene, so I've asked everyone to leave. So we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries for a closed meeting, and I'll need Michelle, Lewis, and John Downs. Thank you.